live.
We're live. WNBA Insider, Aria Schwartz along with Pat Ralph breaking down game 2. Just keys to the game. Keys to the game real quick. Pat, if I asked you, what's the key to the game for the Washington Mystics? If you asked me, I'd say straight up Elena Deladon needs to step up and we need to see playoff Christy Tolliver. What about you, Pat? What about for the Mystics?
Well, I think, as you said, you led off there with Elena Deladon and Christy Tolliver. I think it's got to be the whole team steps up. You know, Ariel Atkins had a really good game in game 1. Natasha Cloud played well. But after that, they just didn't show up to play. They looked, out of it. They looked, disengaged. They looked kind of shocked and a little bit disoriented the whole night. They need to come out playing well early. They need to be able to withstand those Seattle runs and be able to stay in the game. They can't get into a track meet. And they've got to keep that game slow because if Seattle's able to force turnovers and get out and running, this game's over. I mean, it's going to be like like Friday night, and it's going to be over and done with very quickly. So they need to come out ready to play, defensively playing well, and just everybody's got to play well from the start tonight. Yeah,
no question about it. It's got to be a team effort. Atkins, the rookie, cannot carry this team. And we've talked about this many times in the pod, which everyone should check out on iTunes, WNBAinsidr Podcast. DC needs a team effort. Elena Deladon is their star. And at points, she's going to need to play that star mentality, that star role. But at the end of the day, it's a team effort. They need to get to the point where they need that star to carry them over if they're going to win this game. And last game that they played, game 1 on Friday night, there was never a point where it was even the ability for Deladon to take over because the team never brought them to that situation. We talk about this a lot. Getting to that point, who's going to be the game winner for it? Storm have a bunch of players that can do it. Washington has a bunch of players that can do it, but who's going to step up? Let's move over to Seattle, though. Talk to me about Seattle. Brianna Stewart's just going off.
Yeah.
And Sue Bird kind of just did enough to put them over the edge to bring them to this game, and now Stewie's just taken off. What are your keys for the Storm? You go first.
Right. I think for Seattle, it's just, pretty much play the same way they did on Friday. I don't think you can get much better than what they did on Friday night. It was a complete domination and effort on both sides of the ball. Defensively, offensively, on both ends of the floor, it was just totally forcing turnovers. That set the tempo. They were able to get out and running, and that set the tone for the whole night, and Washington was never able to get back into that game. I think if Seattle's able to bring that same intensity, same energy today, feed off the crowd, because that, and you know as well too, Ari, as do I, the Mystics are not going to, I don't think they're going to get rolled over again today. They're not. That floor is too high on that team to get rolled over twice on the road. I'd be very shocked. So I think Seattle knows that the Mystics are going to come out playing better. They're going to be more focused. So Seattle needs to come out with that same energy and intensity. I know it's very similar to Washington, but it's really how this game starts, sets the tempo for this game. And I think Seattle needs to come out with energy, ready to play like they did Friday night. Because if they do, and if they come out with that same, just that burst of fire from the start, then again, this game could get out of hand and this series could be over pretty quickly.
I hear what you're saying. I'm going to kind of flip the script and say that there isn't a player that's the key for the Storm. And it's not about that either, what you're saying. I agree. They're going to come out. I believe they're going to come out on fire. And the question's more on the Mystics and how they handle it. For me, for the Storm, the key to this game is how do they handle adversity? There's going to be, I do not believe this is going to be a 3-0 series. I do not believe the Storm are just going to run away over the Mystics, kind of like a team that doesn't deserve to be there. No, I think there's going to be a time where the Mystics show some fight, where the Storm have their back against the wall. As ridiculous as that sounds, after last game, there's going to be a point where the Storm have their back against the wall. And what are we going to see? Are we going to see the Storm that are, schlumping their shoulders, head down, looking scared, and Sue Bird has to save them? Or are we going to see the Storm that have a player in Natasha Howard who has played in more finals games than the greatest Tamika Catchings? So, at a certain point, the players need to step up. And it's a mindset thing. For the Storm, their biggest Achilles heel is the mindset. That's my take. You got a final take?
Yeah, I think it's just that, you look at this game, and I think this game is a must-win for the Mystics, because going down 2-0, it's going to be tough against the Seattle team to come back.
I agree. That's it for us with the Insider. Make sure to tune in 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC, folks. WNBA Finals episode or Game 2.